job. You're right.
Sporting shooters obviously cover a whole range of different things, and one of the things that they're doing is giving vouchers to special people with special stories. Mike, congratulations.
Yeah, fantastic, Rob. Thanks a lot. Thanks for...
That's for your having a special gun. What was the gun?
So the rifle that I used to hunt was a Remington 7615. It was a really fantastic rifle, but unfortunately I had to hand it in the last confiscation.
Yeah, I was going to say you're using the past tense.
Yeah. I wish I had it here to show you. It was an excellent rifle, pump action, but unfortunately because it had a removable magazine, I had to hand it over. Even though it's not a particularly dangerous firearm, being a single repeating shot rifle, I was very sad to lose that firearm. But that's the world we're living in, and we all have to follow the laws, obviously. So
I'm not going to ask you about whether the compensation covered the cost, but emotionally it certainly wouldn't have.
I mean, I did get a fair price for it, but the thing is, I didn't want to sell it. You know, this is not a rifle that it was one that I would have, along with my Remington shotgun, these were firearms that were going to go on to my son. You did not talk too much about it, I'll get choked up. So, you know, it's a sad thing. But, you know, what can we do? We're a minority and we're a minority and we have to just follow the rules.
So, seriously, I mean, you had a gun which was very close to your heart.
Yes.
And did a lot of work with you.
Yep.
What can you replace it with?
So I've been trying to figure out, do a bit of wallaby control. We've been trying 22 Magnum, the semi-automatic 22 Magnum. The ammo's expensive and not always available, and so we're using 22, which isn't really ideal. It's not really up to wallabies, but
it doesn't have the impact.
It doesn't really. I mean, I don't know. I mean, wallabies are getting out of control now, obviously, because people need those semi-automatic, powerful semi-automatics to control them. So I don't know what's going to happen next. There's a lot of car accidents. I see wallabies knocked over on the road on the way when I go down to Queenstown now. It's nuts, you know. People they don't know how to control these wallabies. And so the next thing, they'll be poisoning them. So you know, there's going to be a lot of 1080 drops for those wallabies coming in the future, if they can be poisoned. I don't even know if they can, but before they were being controlled by us sports shooters, you know, us guys going down, having a bit of fun and getting a bit of exercise. But I don't know how people are going to do it in the future. It's a disappointing thing.
Sporting shooters, you remember?
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are doing a fantastic job, and we all have to get behind you. You know, we've got 250,000 shooters in New Zealand, and we all have a big battle coming to retain what few, they're not even rights, they're privileges, that we all have to get behind the people doing the work. You know, we really do. This is very, very important. You know, that if we don't act as a community, we're going to lose those few privileges that we have.
Mike, an awkward question, but the farmers weren't listened to, and there was thousands of them turned up.
Yeah.
A few cyclists turned up in Auckland, and they get 700 and something million.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think we can swing that elephant around?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's very hard to be positive and say that we can. Would be the answer that I would give, but we have to try, and it's creating the community, and the lawful firearm owners are the most heavily vetted people in our society. You know, obviously the people who administer the Firearms Act dropped the ball, and they gave the Australian his firearms licence, and then that issue wasn't even addressed. In fact, from my understanding, the guy that gave the shooter his firearms licence still is in his position down in Dunedin. I don't understand why us good guys are being vilified and having our privileges taken away for that. But again, all we can do is create community and do what we can and talk to people and get our youth shooting. get your kids, sons, daughters, get them a slug gun, teach them how to use it responsibly, and get them out in the. My son came back from camp today. They were shooting slug guns at the camp. Fantastic. This is what we need. His local scout group, they do shooting, all controlled. They learn from being very young that guns aren't bad. A firearm is just another tool, and it's something that children are being fear-mongered by the media that firearms are bad. There's nothing bad about a firearm, as long as it's kept away from the people who are bad, that are going to use them for bad things. So
the general public don't actually see what you've been talking about. What
Correct.
they see
Correct.
is police shootings.
Correct.
And in the wrong hands. I mean, that's another huge ship to turn around.
So what we have 8,500 gang members. We have 12,000 cops. It's not going to be long before the number of gang members outnumber the number of cops, and those shootings are going to be used to justify us good guys over and over and over again. So we really got a battle coming that we really have to push against this, and we all have to start talking about our firearms. And this is a hard thing to do because everyone's keeping their head down and just hoping this is going to blow over. But we all have to talk to our friends. What are you doing this weekend? Yeah, I'm going hunting. Oh, you own guns? Yeah, I'm a licensed firearm owner. I'm just a normal person. But so many people who own firearms now, they won't even tell their friends. They're not, or people they meet, they're too scared to even talk about their passion. But we have to get out and tell people that this is a normal thing. It's a normal thing it's mostly men. My gun range is, I don't think I've ever seen a female there, unfortunately. We have to promote it we need to get females in shooting as well. If they're interested in that sort of stuff. We need more, more the merrier. But we need to get out and we need to promote the sport and not be shy.
Most of our Olympic representatives are women.
Yeah, correct, yeah. It's not, I've been shooting out at my local gun range for 5 years, and on the rifle range, we have them in the shotgun doing the clay targets, but we just don't have enough, on the rifle range itself, we just don't seem to have females who enjoy, precision shooting. So it would be nice if women were interested in it, and maybe, promote it with their daughters just as much as we do with our sons.
It's not chauvinistic.
No, well, like I say, we should be trying to get females in it as well. If they have an interest in it, you can't push something on someone unless there's a genuine interest there. So the trap shooting, yeah, lots of guys take the girls along and do the trap shooting. So for some reason, the females seem to be more interested in trap shooting than they are precision range shooting or hunting. So if we can promote it, the more the merrier. Absolutely.
Politically, Mike, we've got a big concrete block. For example, when a minister of the Crown says that a ute is just an extension of a builder's ego, it's a very hard thing to try to stop the media promoting that sort of thing and actually being heard.
It's I would say it's an uphill battle, and it's one we've got to fight very hard over. And I just saw on TV our government saying there's no urban city divide, but obviously there is. So the urban people still need to be talking to the country people need to be talking to the urban people, inviting people out to the farm to have a shot. Have a go at a clay target or have a go at a target with a 22. And try to dispel some of the fear that's being run through our urban community by our media.
I had a damn good question then. What was it? Damn.
Yeah,
that does happen.
It happens to me. The older I get, the more often it happens. But we've got to start pushing back, and we have to start talking about this. The fear. A friend of mine was out shooting. He walked up a track with a rifle over his shoulder, and a family came the other way and dived for cover when he saw he had a rifle over his shoulder. The family, out for a walk, was so scared of seeing a hunter with a rifle over his shoulder. A lot of Kiwis now think that firearms are banned in New Zealand. All firearms are banned. They believe that because that's what the media said. People need to be educated. The truth.
So who are your people in Wellington?
I've always liked David Seymour, and a lot of people are saying that David Seymour's too soft, and I understand he has to pick his battles. You know, he still has to win elections. So I don't see the New Conservatives. There were some fantastic people in the New Conservatives in the party, and it was sad to see that they had such a poor election result. And unfortunately, you know, we're really down to David Seymour and his team. And David Seymour was very, very good at combating some of the stuff that's happening. But unfortunately, he just doesn't have enough power to really to be able to achieve very much. Unfortunately, it's a sad thing, but we're dealing with a very charismatic government. That, yeah, like I say, it's going to be a big battle. All right, thanks for coming and talking to me, and thanks a lot for the voucher. I'll be putting it towards a bit more lead, I suppose.
So you're not going to all that lead that goes through your hands.
Yeah.